What's up, my homies? Been a while, man. Uh, is there anything here that I want to talk about? I've been wanting to make some videos for a while now, but you know how it goes, man. Life gets in the way and work and all the other bullshit that life throws at you. So I just haven't really had the time to dick around with anything on my YouTube channel. Uh, but I was thinking about making a video this weekend with some Rimworld because I haven't played this game in a long time because I've been kind of screwing around with Skyrim. But needless to say, I'm sure Randy's gonna throw me a fucking plague or some shit the moment I get in. It's always the way it happens with Randy, man. Sucks ass. Fucking prick. uh, One thing I was going to mention, though, is that at some point in the future, and I don't know when I'm going to do this, because this is actually going to be a pretty significant undertaking with some of the stuff that I've got floating around in my head about this. But I love this game. I think it's really fucking fun, man. And I did a little bit of research, and it just so happens that Rimworld has some mods that allow you to perform basically API RESTful requests. Now, for anybody that doesn't know what that is, to simplify it, man, it's really nothing more than having a thing that opens itself up for a website or an application to reach into and grab stuff or do things with. And the idea that I have here is that at some point in the future, and by future I mean it's not going to happen this year. It might be like next year or something like that, because I've also got some other things that I'm working on that I'm going to wind up using in this thing. But at some point, what I would like to do is start a new colony with this API mod enabled in my game. Excuse me. Had to belch there. And basically have the game post things on this website. It'll be kind of like a colony website, if you will. And it'll be kind of cool, man, because I'm going to wind up trying to like turn it into almost like a comic. Almost kind of similar to the type of, kind of like the type of illustrations and stuff that you see on this game. And what I would like to do is essentially create a type of platform that, almost curates stuff that goes on in the game, you know. So you'll be able to like go to the website, get a complete readout of who all the colonists are, have their backstory listed on there, and like there might be like blog entries that I can somehow create that the colonists create themselves, you know, and it'll talk about some of the intercolonist frustrations that one person might have with another or something like that, and it'll list out things on a timeline. And I have a lot of really cool ideas with where this could go if that module does what it is that I'm hoping it does. And so far from what I've seen, it sounds like it will. But like I said, I mean, that's going to be down the road a ways because I've got some other stuff that I need to work on first. I've got a really big vacation coming up in December. It's going to be almost like an entire month, and during that time I'm going to try to whip up the other thing that I'm working on, which is like a security module for my Drupal websites. And if I can get that done, or at least at a point to where it can start being used, I might try to start pivoting over to this other thing that I've got floating around in my head about this website stuff. But besides that, no, man, I hope you guys are doing okay. Hope you're staying safe. Here in Indiana, man, it's really been great weather. It's been like low to mid 70s. Today was around like, I think maybe 72, maybe 73 at its peak. And man, for July, that is just chef's kiss weather, man. It's really been great. And it really gets me pumped up because it makes me look forward to my vacation, because that kind of weather or temperature, it makes you feel almost as if we're almost into the late August to mid to late September weather pattern, where up here in Indiana, it goes from really being hot to that point in time where the moment you step outside, it's like a breath of fresh air because everything's nice and crisp. You know, you start seeing the changing of the leaves, and you start hearing that rustle in the leaves in the trees, and you start smelling burning leaves and things like that, and the air is cooler and crisper, and it just feels like it's fucking fresh, man. And I just cannot wait for that shit, because that, you know, whenever you start sensing that, at least with me, I the moment I start sensing that is the moment I begin to kind of feel like it's almost my vacation time, and I can kind of focus on things instead of having to dick around with a bunch of shit at work. So I'm really pumped up, man. I'm feeling pretty goddamn good right now. So let's go ahead and jump into this and see what kind of bullshit Randy's got in store for us. I'm going to try my best not to save scum in this, but I just know that he's going to wind up throwing something at me, man. I just know it. I feel it in my bones. Hopefully I'm wrong, but we'll see. But yeah, man, I hope you guys are doing okay. And wherever you are in the world, I hope it's treating you okay. So here we are. Alright, so let's see. Let's just take a cursory scan real quick of the colony here to see where everything is. Because I kind of got to refresh my memory even, because it's just been that long. Okay, so we've got our, so obviously this is our core right here, if you will. Got a lot of food stores, a lot of, this up here is where my weapons are, clothing, various renewable power sources and pets, general rec room. This room, this room, this room, and this room are kind of like some food stores. Kind of like a fridge area, freezer, if you will. This is the only mech gestator that I have. And we have various mortars, because these rooms right here, this one and this one down here, they have an open ceiling. So I can use those mortars in there from the safety of, you know, my colony base and stuff. Now, one thing I remember doing when we left off was making more of these damn things. And the reason I decided to do that is because a few game sessions ago, I wound up into an impossible scenario where Randy threw a plague at me, and it just kicked my ass, man. It was killing everyone. And that was one moment when I decided to save scum. And I don't really feel guilty about it, because in my mind, I rationalize it by the simple fact that it just didn't make any fucking sense. Because that's the thing about Rimworld that drives me nuts sometimes. It's one thing for a game to be able to sit there and throw some sort of obstacle at you if it makes sense. Like, for example, with plagues. They just come out of nowhere, you know, and I don't really completely agree with that, because if you're a colony that's out on some planet somewhere who has the capability of creating things like mech gestators, I would like to think that the suspension of disbelief could be maintained by entertaining the notion that your colonists are intelligent enough to enact standard disease protocol, you know? And with my base being the way it is, it's the entry points are consolidated to one single point in on each compass direction, you know. So needless to say, I don't really feel bad about save scumming, because in my mind, my colony would have been much more apt to take care of a problem like that, because it wouldn't have happened in general. Now, the one thing that undermines that theory is the fact that if you're on a foreign planet or place, you know, theoretically there wouldn't be stopping anything from like a certain kind of bug or vermin or something from sneaking in, maybe biting someone or spreading something. And I mean, I'm not going to sit here and argue that that's not possible either, but you got to look at it from the standpoint of probability. And at least as far as Earth is concerned, most places where some sort of scenario like that could happen would be over in places like Africa or possibly South America, where or you know, someplace maybe over in Laos where you've got some really fucking crazy shit flying around and crawling around on the ground and stuff. So with the place being where I am, I'm believing that the probability is pretty low for something like that. Okay, and so that there in and of itself is just how I kind of rationalized safe stuffing. And I try not to do that all the time. But I admit I've done it probably more times than I should have, but I'm not going to feel guilty about it. But moving on from that, though, we've got, as you can see, numerous chem fuel powered generators all over the place, and at least as far as right now is concerned, we're kicking ass on power because I have a shit ton of these solar panels. I've got multiple geotherm, multiple windmill generators. These guys over here are wood powered, and I keep that for backup whenever some sort of tragedy happens. Most of the time we're not really using those. Sometimes the colonists will throw a couple sticks of wood in there or whatever and fire up a few, but most of the time those are usually like secondary. But then of course we've got our power cells, or battery cells I guess, and those I just kind of, the whole design of this base isn't really it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, because that was just something that I kind of threw in there because I just kind of had some space, you know. But in retrospect, if I could redo things or do things differently, I would have taken a completely different route with how I've designed this whole entire base colony. But long story short, I've got plenty of power. I've got gobs of this freaking chem fuel that my boomalopes are generating. And in the early onset of the game colony here, it's the thing I ran into major problems with was livestock being fed. But I think I've gotten to a point now to where I'm okay with that. My fields here, they're all generating hay, and I've also got plenty of rice generation going on. And for the most part, food isn't an issue anymore either, because not only did the livestock have problems early on, but so did my colonists where food was concerned. But now I've got all of this stuff generating naturally the way it is. It's all sustainable. Everything's going really great for the most part, until like Randy does one of his fucking hat tricks and throws us some sort of toxic chemical spill or a volcano. you know. But living spaces, that's been a little concerning because we've only got about maybe 2 or 3 bedrooms right now as a result of partners doubling up. So I don't really know yet how I might wind up trying to deal with that at some point. But long story short, right now the big thing that we're working on is just building these biosculptor pods and just kind of waiting things out to see how things go, to see if what I would really like is to have another mechanator in the colony, and I haven't really been having any chances to get something like that because the ancient complexes that I've had access to haven't been providing that type of resource. So here's my base, and as you can see, we've got plenty of these little mining spots and stuff like that, but I don't have any mechanator spots. I don't know if it's something with the game logic or what, but there just has not been any encounters with that. So I'm holding out, hoping that at some point we'll get another chance to get a mechanator. Oh, and then of course there's the orbital traders that haven't been coming around either. That's been another major problem. So I'm hoping that, since I haven't played the game in a while, that I might wind up at least seeing an orbital trade come around at some point. Specifically a bulk trader. I love those things, but it's been a long time since I've seen one of those. To give you a little bit of backstory of my colonists, Gabs is our leader. She's a countess of what's referred to as the Refugee Dominion. They're the main faction of the world. here's one of their places. We often make trades down to this place for various missions. But Gabs is our leader, and then Cream and Newton are the other two founders of the colony. And I think I have maybe, I don't know, 4 or 5 mechanators. And as you can obviously see, I've got a shit ton of these mechanoids doing their thing all around the place. Here's my mechs right here. I've got a lot of them. And what I want to do is eventually get to a point where I can capture someone from an opposing faction and throw 1 or 2 of them in the rip scanner, so that I can eventually use the gestator to build me some of those fabricators. That way, if I had 4 of them, I could make these 4 stations be automated. Or 4 stations in general. And that would help out a lot. But to my surprisingly, though, I haven't really had any recent raids. Or at least I don't remember the last one I had. Or the last time I had one. Okay, thanks, Randy. I'm hoping that's as bad as it gets during this game session. Oh yeah, I remember this now. We were also in the process of eventually making a trip down to Caspis for some stuff. Forgot about that. See, one thing that this colony generates a lot of is furs and textiles and old clothing. As you can see, we've got a shit ton of it right down here. And so I usually try to use that to help out with certain kinds of trading, because I can usually build up a lot of stuff or money and whatnot from that. One of my biggest exports. Alright. At least we got something going on here. Let's see here. Who should we use to do the trade? Let's have a... Oh, I guess we gotta use somebody that's... Cream. Okay, why, oh, never mind. Okay. I guess she's going up through here. I wasn't really sure what I was seeing there for a second. Oh, got a dead pig. exit out there. Anything else out here that needs to be... Yep, got one right there. Hoping this winds up being a good trade. We could use some stuff. Okay, let's see what we got here. 2 goats. Sure, why not? Components. Cloth. Glitter World. Yes! 14 of them too, man. Kick ass. That's great. We can get rid of some cloth too, which is good. Explosive fuel, yes. Why would I want something like a wimpy gene pack? Is there some sort of gain for something like that? If you know, man, let me know in the comments. If you feel like commenting on this, I mean, I'm sure there's not going to be a whole lot of people that are going to watch this all the way through. But if you just happen to be one of those kinds of people, I would sure love to know exactly what the virtue is of having something like this, because this game does a lot of that, man. It'll like offer to sell you stuff that you're sitting there looking at it thinking to yourself, why on earth would I want that fucking thing? But I don't know, man. Maybe there's like some sort of like balance type thing that you get out of doing something like that. I guess I just haven't really researched it enough to know. Those though. Take those. Where's the goat? There it is. Excuse me. Yeah, that wasn't too bad. Got some good food, got some more steel. The thing I'm really pumped up about is the glitter world. And I'm kind of happy about those charge rifles. As well as the components too, I guess, because you can always use more components in this friggin' game. So overall, man, that wasn't too shabby. And plus, too, we didn't really lose any money off of any of it. We got rid of some stuff of our own, so yeah, man, that was pretty good. Wait, what's... Group of child outlanders has arrived to venerate the Hornexus. If you ensure they are safe, blah, 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 blah. Oh, okay. It's just one of those miscellaneous things, I guess. Uh-oh. What do we got here? Oh, it's a heat stroke. Excuse me. So here he equips that. I'm gonna let us run for a second to go get some cough drops. Actually, I just decided to take a swig of some cough syrup. I had a little bit of a thing going on with my throat lately where I don't know if I've got a cold or something else. I want to cough a lot for some reason. Yeah, one bad thing about these rooms that have these generators is that they're extremely hot. See, now we've got another one that's having some issues. And I don't really think there's much of a thing that I can do about it because I've got tons of these things right here, these coolers, and they don't even touch it, man. I've got 3 up here, 3 over here. And in this area right here, it is still at 178 degrees. Over here, it's like 200 and something. 247. Sheesh. I might be able to set these a little lower though. Maybe that might help a little bit. Give it a shot. Negative 20 degrees. Okay, well this one's... Hold on a second here. Negative 4. Alright. Negative 22. Hopefully that'll help. I doubt it will though. I've never set these things to like negative 20 though, so I don't know if it's gonna help or not. But man, in here it's like 237 degrees. Eesh. We gotta try something, right? clean this area up. I need a person who can... Didn't realize I didn't have these turned on. Not either. I didn't realize I didn't turn these things on, man. Not sure why I did that. Monday gonna be okay? I heard that. Where was it? Or was that? Might have been out here actually. Oh, it was right there. Okay. There we go. Okay, so this is what I don't understand. I've tried to figure this out before, and I just can't. If you have any ideas, let me know. But one thing I've noticed about this is that up in here, like look at the temperature over here, okay? Over here it's 187 degrees Fahrenheit. Over here it's 237, and there isn't any visible difference that I can see, because I've got the roof visibility thing turned on, toggled, and that can sometimes be helpful because it lets you know whether or not you're underneath any kind of mountain. Like over here, this place over here is underneath a mountain, so you could argue that it would make sense from a standpoint of insulation that this would be as hot as it is, you know, theoretically, I guess. But up here, though, I don't understand that. I don't understand why there's a difference between over here and over here to the extreme that it's different. I can't work that one out, man. I just don't get it. Seems to be doing something. It's lowering. Yeah, that's having a big effect. I'm sitting here now thinking whether or not I should... I just got an idea. Okay, so where I work, the entire facility is essentially... Okay, so there's... How do I even explain this? So I work at a university, and the university that I work at is... It's temperature controlled using consolidated chiller plants, okay? There's two main chiller plants. One's on the north side of the university, and the other one's on the other side, I guess. Or it's actually, I think, maybe east and west side. When I was thinking north and south. But anyway, the entire facility, though, or university, it's cooled by these two plants. As I was sitting here screwing around with this, watching these air conditioners, I guess, cooled this area down as well as it is. An idea just began to dawn on me. Maybe there would be a way for me to essentially create a chiller in this game, okay? So think about it like this. Right now we've got these quadrants broken up by rooms. What if I removed these walls and did something to where I essentially created a chiller cell? So right now, as you can see, I'm using this area as some additional storage. But if I removed these walls, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one, relocated some of this stuff somewhere else, and then essentially created an entire wall in each of these areas for nothing but coolers. I kind of wonder if that would do like what I'm thinking it might. Because essentially what I could do is I could create, like, here, let me kind of show you what I'm talking about here. So let's say I built a wall out like right here. Actually, well, yeah, I could do that and then just relocate the door over here. But if I did that, removed this wall. So yeah, what am I thinking? I would remove the door, remove this wall, and then stack HVACs all along here and open this up to the roof. Well, actually, no, duh, I take that back. I would take out these things and then move it to right here, the wall, I mean. So let me go ahead and remove that. So then I would have the wall to install the air conditioners right here. Open up the ceiling right here. Well, right here that might be a problem because I know that I'm under a mountain right there. Well, actually I'm not. Okay. Well, where am I? I'm under a mountain right over here. That's only two spaces. Everywhere else would basically be okay, I think. But if I did that, I mean, think about how many HVAC units I would have, because it would be right along here, 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 and so on, and just leave this whole entire outer cell open, like an open concept where you don't have any doors. That way the cool air could flow throughout the entire thing. I think I'm gonna try that, because I think because if that works, then that would alleviate the entire situation that I keep running into with the colonists constantly having these heat strokes. And the reason I think that's going to work is because of what I'm seeing out of this alone. Because look at the temperature. Right now it's at 222 when it was all the way up to like 240 something. Yeah, I'm going to do that. So that's okay. That's going to be the new game plan here. Okay. Now I want to build up a few things first before I do that, because it's going to take a lot of resources to get this done. And plus, too, I need to figure out how I'm going to store this stuff. So that's got to be relocated too. I'm going to do this. I've got some space right there, so that'll give us something to work with. Let's do that. If this works the way that I think it will, it's going to be awesome. Yeah, we need more wood. So that's what we got to do first. Cut down some trees. Yeah, I don't know why I didn't think of doing this before, man. I think this is gonna be awesome. I'm really looking forward to this because if it works, it's gonna completely solve the thing, you know. And it might open up some options for the rest of the entire complex because if this works, then I can just go ahead and open up uh, other rooms to this. It'll kind of act like my employer's chill center or plants, chilling plants. This is gonna be interesting. What time is it? About 10:30 where I am. I've got to get off here soon and make some sushi. Tonight's my sushi night. Got some kick-ass fish in my freezer, man. Got some sea bream, some cobia, yellowtail tuna, salmon, swordfish, blacktip shark, uh, some dry packed scallops, which basically means it doesn't have the packing chemical that you don't ever want to eat whenever you're thinking about eating raw scallops. What just happened here? Wait, what was that? I just saw something here. I was too busy blabbing about sushi fish. Oh, final station. Okay. But let me see here. I've got all that stuff, and I think I've got like one or two. Oh, Chilean sea bass. Got that as well. The ones I'm gonna eat tonight, though, are gonna be mahi and some salmon. A couple little pieces of cobia and some red snapper. I love making sushi, man. Love eating it even more. But usually the weekends are my sushi night. So I'm gonna get off here in a few more minutes and get going on that. I want to get Vic through her labor real quick. See how cool it is in here now. 107 something. Man, I could have done this a long time ago. That is going to be awesome whenever we do this. That's going to completely change everything. Now the power usage, though, is going to be a concern. I'm hoping that we can handle that. If not, I've got some more room for more power cells, or solar power panels, I mean. I think it'll work, man. To say nothing about the fact that we also have these too. I forgot to mention these. On each side of the colony complex, I've got more of these things here. So I think we should be able to handle it. Let's do it, Vic. Push. You can do it. All right. Let me see here. Got a new little grub. It's a her, right? Angie. I like that. It's simple. Go with it. Okay, so where is... I think they're over here, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, right there. Little Angie. Golf clap. Were they pleased? Someone's hangry. I don't know if they were happy or not with what they saw. a court of Jaminon. I've never seen that faction before. That's an interesting one. I was, yeah, right. Interesting. So they're neutral, I guess. Huh. Still haven't left. Hell, man. We got Gabs, Yia, TC, and who's this? View. Okay. Let's see if we can force them to. First view. Alright, well, I guess she's got to rest. Usually what you can do is temporarily draft them, then undraft them, and if everyone's ready to go, they'll sometimes move on to the caravan staging point, but it doesn't look like they're wanting to do that. Do we have any wood yet? Let's see if we can plot these out here. Okay, so that'll give us one place to move things. Oh, and by the way, I saw a movie last night. Motor City. It's actually pretty good. If you guys have a chance to see that, definitely give it a shot. Oh, and I also saw too the you know, I forgot to plot these. The newest Odyssey film. Love to know what your guys' thoughts are on that. I watched it and there's a lot of stuff going around about how it's woke, and there's a couple things in there that I can kind of agree with where that's concerned, but in general I thought it was actually a pretty okay film. It wasn't great, especially in my opinion, versus the older '97 Odyssey with that Armand guy, whatever his name is. I can't remember what his name is, but in general, it was an okay film. It was just a little weird because it didn't really flesh out the characters as much as the '97 iteration did. And it didn't really do a whole lot with the world or the mystery the way the '97 film did. In my opinion, the '97 version is the superior telling of the story for a number of reasons. Characterization, world development, mystery. You know, there's a lot of shit with that film, or I should say miniseries, that was 10 times better than this latest iteration. In my opinion, this latest iteration is just popular because of the star-studded cast. Because it's not really a very good story from the standpoint of the film, I mean. But with that being said, though, it's not horrible either. I mean, it's definitely worth a watch if you get a chance to do it. It's got a lot of neat villains in it and stuff like that. One thing I kind of laugh a lot about, though, with that film is how they shoot their bows and arrows. I don't know why they did it the way that they did, man. I'm sure that somebody somewhere said that somehow reflects some sort of historical relevance or something like that. Must have been how they really shot it or something. I don't buy it, though. Sorry, I just think that's a bunch of BS. Because I remember watching Matt Damon kind of like flicking the bow. It was just stupid. I don't know why they did it like that, man. It would be, and here's the crux of it. If they're gonna sit there and say that the reason they had the characters shoot the bow like that is because of some sort of like truth or historical, like if that's really the way they did it or something. The thing though is that you're not. If you're going to go down that route, then you also might as well say, well, okay then, so why on earth does Matt Damon at least not have any kind of accent at all? Because it's not as if, you know, back then the Greeks were Caucasian white dudes. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I think a lot of them, the majority of them were like white collar, skin color or whatever. But they sure as shit didn't speak like Matt Damon. You know what I'm saying? That's what I mean by that. So it's like, I don't know what I'm trying to say, really. It's like if you're going to wind up trying to go down that historical relevance or historical truth or historical factual storytelling approach, then you can at least try to make your actors at least sound somewhat like they've got some sort of accent or whatever, instead of screwing around with this bow flicking crap. I don't know, man. That was just... I have more issues with how they were shooting bows than I do any of the woke arguments and stuff. But overall, no, all that bullshit aside, overall it was an entertaining movie. So if you get a chance to watch it, man, do it. That and Motor City. Oh, and by the way, the freaking Punisher, One Last Kill, that fucking movie was badass. In my opinion, that's the best movie I've seen this whole entire year. Very, very good movie. Man, it's down to 141 or 140 now. That's cool. If our power sources can handle what I'm going to do up here with all these walls and everything, it's going to be really interesting. It's going to change everything, I think. I'm sitting here looking at this empty room and wondering if I should maybe use that for storage space. Well, okay, what's... well, maybe I can't do that. Those waste pack atomizers are important. I remember having the goal of eventually wanting to use those rooms for that. I don't know, man. We'll figure something out. But I've been playing it now for about an hour, so I'm going to go ahead and end it here. Now, when I come back in the next episode, we're definitely going to continue to pursue this idea that I've come up with the whole chill center, chill plant type approach thing that I'm talking about. And again, what that's going to look like, I get my little tool here. What it's going to look like is, first of all, relocating the storage spaces that these represent, and basically building the wall out like this, opening up this space to the outside via the roof, and then just stacking a bunch of AC units all along here. Okay, and then opening up this, opening up this space right here to be completely open, and doing that all across every single face of that room, or those rooms, I mean. And I really think it's gonna be awesome, man, because what I'm seeing right now down here, it was all the way up to like 240 something degrees Fahrenheit, but setting all of these down to like -20, it's lowered it all the way down to, well, right now at least it's down to about 128. But if it keeps going down, it's liable to make this room too cold, which I didn't think would ever be possible considering the amount of heat these damn things generate. But it's going to be cool, man. I think if this works out the way that I'm thinking it's going to, it's going to completely change everything, because what that's going to mean then at that point is that I'm going to have all of these little walls opened up, and this is essentially going to turn into just one big giant room. And depending on how it goes, it might wind up opening up a situation where I can open it up to these big farm wings, and essentially maybe even go as far as opening up to the rest of the entire area or colony. I don't know yet, but anyway, man, that's where we're gonna end this. So it's been a cool episode. As far as I'm concerned, it has been. Let me do a save here. Little save skipoo. Here. And that's where we'll end it. So make sure to share, like, and subscribe if you want to, if you can. Appreciate it. Let me know in the comments though what you think about this idea, about the chiller plant idea, if you will. I'd like to see what your thoughts are on that. And I don't know, man. I guess I'll see you in the next step. And you know, at some point I'll probably do another Skyrim episode too. So, but more importantly, I'd love to see what your ideas are on my idea that I opened up with in this episode about making the website, you know, new colony and all that kind of crap, and tying the two things together, because it would be kind of like a living colony. You'd be able to probably see things on the website when I'm not playing the game, because I've got all sorts of ideas where I think I can come up with some stuff that can like generate things on the website based off of the content that I generate in the game, assuming that the module and stuff does everything that I'm hoping it can do. So anyway, I'll see you guys in the next episode, and stay safe.